Warriors, good morning. It's Coach JV, your top health and mindset coach in the world. Remember, what you believe in your heart, you think in your mind, will eventually become your words and become your reality. I repeat the same things on a daily basis. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. And the reality that you're facing right now is just an accumulation of the thoughts, actions, and behaviors up until this moment. Why do I repeat the same things? Because that's exactly what they're doing to you since you were an itty bitty baby during commercials and cartoons and you're watching the Flintstones. You're being predictive or preemptive programmed to believe a certain way. The only way to break free from that is to change the input and information that's coming into your mind, to change the surroundings, and based on your thoughts that changes the vibration within your subconscious mind, will start to shape and mold the reality. But remember what it says in the Bible, I follow God, I love the life of Jesus, obsessed with the life of Jesus, I'm non-religious, I accept everybody. But what it says in the Bible, it says to pray with discernment. Don't beg, don't flounder, pray as if it already exists. Isn't that manifestation? Well, that's not what I'm here to talk about because you're here to get rich in crypto, right? But I'm not the guy that's going to teach you that. I'm not going to say you're going to make thousands or millions of dollars on a coin. What I'm going to tell you is how to understand economics, how to understand the game. And as you look this way at a pandemic, there's a whole nother narrative going on this way. And what's going to happen, Warriors? By 2030, your world is going to change pretty dramatically. By 2050, you're not even going to be able to recognize the world you live in. So you have two choices right now. You can sit back and be a silent observer as the freight train leaves the station, or you can get on the freight train and go for the ride of your life. Now, what you need to know is everybody has to get on this freight train eventually. So you may as well be part of the biggest shift in generational wealth. Now, here's where the money part comes in. Money to me does not exist. Money is just energy. Money is vibration. I've lost my money 3 times. And finally, the 3rd time I grew up and became a man and understood economics and how money actually works. And I stopped frivolous spending and I got fucking sick discipline and I completely changed my life in a year and a half. And now I'm teaching people all over the world to change their life through their mind, through their body, and through their finances. And what that does is it creates freedom for those people. But how did I do that? I started to understand where our world was going, not where our world was. And what you're going to start to hear is the Paris Agreement, the new Green Deal by 2050. Now, when President Biden came into office, the first thing that he did was get us back into the Paris Agreement. Now, whether you think right or left, it doesn't matter. What you need to know is that you should become the narrative. So I'm going to break down a few things, but what I want you to look at really quickly is this happened yesterday on April 11th, 2021 on Sunday. This is the World Economic Forum that's changing our world as we speak, the Great Reset, right? This is about financing net zero transition. Take a look at the left. 1,913 people have watched this video. 1,913 people have watched this video. I'm one of the nerds that watched it, okay? As everybody else is watching the reality shows, the WAP videos, the new Little Nas video, and arguing about these shoes, your whole freaking world is changing. And only 119 people have watched this video. There's 7 billion people in the world. So I'm going to take you on a journey through climate change and how I believe cryptocurrency is going to absolutely change, mold, and shape the world. And that's how you can get rich, Warriors. Let's listen to this boring stuff. You're a true warrior if you can make it.
Capital for these investments would be absolutely critical, as will ongoing research and innovation. And we're also involved in that space. But in one sense, the big debates are over. Now we're looking at to hear some leaders in this area who perhaps have not been speaking out in the past, now coming to the table and wanting to be
barriers and what's been enabling in recent months and years.
Of course, and thank you for having us here this morning. So I'd say, first of all, it's important to frame just how big the problem is. We're going to need to mobilize somewhere in the neighborhood of $3 to $6, $7 trillion per year for many, many years to come. So the challenge is enormous. And so the question of what blocks it, what enables it, I think is very important. The positive news, of course, is that, as the Commissioner has said, we now have over 120 countries that have explicit regulatory, legislative net zero goals. The U.S. has joined. That's a very big step that changes, certainly fundamentally, the whole landscape. We also have a period where fiscal spending is very much live and going on, and countries again, the Commission with its recovery fund at the forefront of this is spending a lot of money, a lot of public money, and is clearly saying a significant part of this, 30%, let's say in the European case, has to go into spending for climate transition. The key now is to use this regulatory convergence and the willingness to use public money as an enabler, as a catalyst to get private money flowing, because no matter how big the commitment will be from the public side, it will not be enough to get to the trillions of dollars per year for many years to come. So we desperately...
Okay, so listen to what he's saying, okay? This is the vice chairman for BlackRock. Now, all the people that are speaking, if you saw that video with all the people, I'm going to show you 4 out of the people. I'm going to show you their companies. I'm going to show you 3, excuse me. So this is BlackRock. Now, there's trillions of dollars that needs to flow from carbon to net carbon zero, okay? Now, where do you think a lot of the financing is going to come from? Where do you think a lot of this flow is going to come from, Warriors? Okay, so this is BlackRock. Okay, now they're explaining net zero. Now, they're not talking about cryptocurrency per se, but I'm going to show you something from John Kerry in the future talking about where we're heading and what is going to run that. What's going to be the infrastructure? Blockchain, cryptocurrency companies. So let's take a look at all these companies that were speaking during this net zero transition, option 1. So this is BlackRock. BlackRock held 6.5 million in CME Bitcoin futures earlier this year with an appreciation of 360, is that million? New SEC files show. 360,000 in new SEC filings show. I think that's million. Okay, so that's BlackRock. That's crypto. Okay, this is the other company that was speaking. Standard Chartered Bank launches crypto trading for institutional investors. Think about that. Next person that was speaking, cryptocurrency. They're involved in crypto. Okay, the next person that was speaking, how to regulate crypto bank operated by UBS bankers may be as important as an ETF. Every single person that I was able to find, that's a lie, 3 out of the 5 people speaking all are dealing with companies that are getting heavily into cryptocurrency, okay? Climate change and crypto go together, Warriors. Okay, let's go in here. So climate change, this is John Kerry, who is an advisor for President Biden around our climate change and getting to zero carbon by 2050. Listen to the keywords he says, and then I'm going to show you where I think we're heading.
Marketplace is moving very, very rapidly in this direction. And if you're going to compete with your economy, if you're going to create the jobs of the future, if you're going to be able to create the new technologies, the new products, you better be in this hunt, and you better be in it now. That's what a lot of corporations are realizing, which is why last year, a remarkable $500 billion was invested in solar, wind, and electric vehicles. And probably much more than that will be invested this year. So the future economically, the future jobs are moving in that direction. We know, for instance, in America, we have 3 points.
Okay, let's stop for just a moment. The future jobs are moving that direction. What did I show you that Jerome Powell has been saying over and over again? I'm worried about the middle class. The middle class is coming back to a new economy, leveraged towards technology. Are you starting to see that I've been telling you this for a year without facts, figures, numbers, logic yet? I've been telling you this for a year, that we are moving to the 4th Industrial Revolution, the quantum financial system, and now you're hearing it from the horse's mouth of the government that you believe. So now you can hear it from the long-haired hippie guy and the government who's telling you exactly where you're going. Where would you invest your money?
6 million people who are working in retail. We have more people than that working already than in retail in new energy jobs. We have more people.
He said it. I didn't even notice that yesterday when I watched this. He said it too. Retail, 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 retail. Alert, alert, abandoned ship. Get on a new ship. The freight train is going, and only a little bit of us are on that freight train. Grab your family members. Get them. Let's go. This is your opportunity to shift your generational wealth, Warriors.
People working in solar and wind than we've had any time previously. And those numbers are increasing. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says that there are only 3 entities over the next 10 years that are going to grow jobs. The first is wind turbine technician, about 62% growth. The second is registered nurses. We all understand why that's growing. And the final one at 51% growth is going to be solar power technicians, solar panel installers. So there's a remarkable transformation already taking place. And I think nations that...
So let me explain to you where we're heading. Okay, remember I talked to you about the first industrial revolution, the second industrial revolution, and third. So the third was going into computing. Now we're going into connectivity, warriors. Cross-border payments, moving money at the speed of light, just like we did with an email. Okay? Solar is connectivity. There's going to be phones that you don't have to plug in. I'm actually invested in that technology, okay? We'll go down that rabbit hole a little bit later. But let's continue on, okay? So now we got the World Economic Forum talking about climate change, and trillions of dollars are it needs to move into this space, okay? Now you got John Kerry parroting what Biden is saying, okay? Janet Yellen was repeating and parroting what Biden is saying, Jerome Powell is saying. I'm teaching you guys a game. I listen to stuff incessantly. I write notes, okay? Now, what does this mean for crypto? How am I going to get rich in crypto? Let me show you. Okay, April 8, 2021, fintech firms, NGOs launch new push for carbon-free cryptocurrencies. Okay, cryptocurrencies aren't usually associated with eco-friendliness. Indeed, the emissions output of Bitcoin, which rivals those of some countries and even threatens the impede climate change, has done much to tarnish the image of these cutting-edge forms of finance. But I showed you guys that article recently, but this is kind of like a FUD thing to keep people out of it. There's a lot of energy companies that are working, like the guy from Shark Tank. He is actually investing in companies to make the mining much more eco-friendly. In the light of this alliances, a research group and private firms this week announced that they are pooling resources with the intention of completely decarbonizing all cryptocurrencies by 2040. The bodies that formulate the proposal, known as the Crypto Climate Change, say the transparency that is defined and built into cryptocurrencies makes them ideal tools to build trust to decarbonize efforts. The accord, in turn, urges cryptocurrency communities to work and collaborate to make cryptocurrency industry 100% renewable. Where would you... I'm not a financial advisor, warriors, but I'm all in. Okay, so now if you click here on Climate Accord, let's take a look at the Climate Accord, okay? So making cryptos green. This is the Crypto Climate Accord. Surging demand for cryptocurrencies and accelerating. And what did John Kerry say? Do you remember, warriors? He talked about wind turbines, solar. What's on the right-hand side here? Wind turbines, okay? Wind turbines. We're showing you, they're literally telling you where you're headed. Think about that, warriors. Do you realize a gas vehicle is going to be a nostalgic vehicle? I'm going to buy a gas supercar, and I'm keeping that shit because that thing is going to be very, very valuable. Gas cars are going to be nostalgic. They're going to be valuable. It's like a piece of art. Okay, surging demand for cryptocurrency and accelerating adoption of blockchain-based solutions have highlighted a critical issue: the technology's growing energy consumption and its impact on climate. That's why we're working to collaboratively with crypto industry, including blockchains, to transition 100% renewable. Okay, so now check this out. Who did they link up with? What is the Climate Accord? So Energy Web as an Alliance for Innovation Regulation, RMI, are excited to launch the Crypto Climate Accord inspired by Paris Climate Agreements. Okay, the Accord is a private sector-led initiative for the entire crypto community focused on decarbonizing the crypto industry. The first thing Biden did was went into the Paris Agreement again. Right away, that was the first thing he did. But let's see who they're partnered with, warriors, our supporters. We have the Climate Change Conference. Oh, is that Ripple? There's Ripple XRP right there with the Climate Accord, the Paris Agreement, warriors. This is their partner. Ripple is partnered with them to bring in zero carbon by 2040, warriors. Are you starting to see the narrative? So we don't want to just look at how you're going to get rich in crypto, but why would you be investing in crypto? Now, one thing that we're not going to go through the whole thing, but Jim Carrey talked about is SPACs. How are we going to move and mobilize trillions of dollars into this space? Through special, these are SPACs are basically special financing type companies, okay? So these are 7 SPACs to play the rise of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency stocks. The rise of the value of Bitcoin and media coverage of cryptocurrencies could make this industry ripe for startups going into 2021. Now, basically, SPACs are special financing companies. So SPACs are popping up everywhere. So let me explain what this means. So we're trying to mobilize trillions of dollars from the carbon sector into the zero carbon sector. Okay, now we're going to be getting into specialized finance. Now to do that, you have to move it from carbon over to zero carbon. Companies are dramatically and frantically trying to move into a zero carbon company, like ExxonMobil. They're all rebranding as energy companies, warriors. So why am I sharing this boring stuff with you? If you're still here, you're a true warrior. Because this is the stuff you need to learn to create freedom. The people in the first industrial revolution, the second industrial revolution, the third industrial revolution, now us moving into the fourth industrial revolution, who are investing in the new technology, cryptocurrencies, wind, solar, batteries, are going to be the richest people in the world. So you have two choices, warriors. You can sit back, you can watch people buy their ticket and get on the train and go for the ride of life, or you can get ran over by it, and you're going to have to get back up and get back on that train. But what's happening is you're being influenced by outside sources that are wearing fanny packs and wearing a beeper and saying, pulling change out of their pocket and saying, hey, cryptocurrency is a fraud. I think we've gotten over that by now, warriors. And if the people that you're speaking to haven't, you might want to just do the ignore technique. Are you really going to take advice from somebody who hasn't done any research, who is stuck in the old paradigm? That's your choice, warriors. I'm not here to sell you on cryptocurrency. I'm just here to give you facts, figures, numbers, logic to teach you how to fish. If you give a man or woman a fish for a day, they'll eat for a day. If you give them a fishing pole, they'll eat for a lifetime. And my boy William says if you teach them how to farm, they will feed a nation. So if you want to join our large warrior community all over the world, 15 different countries, over 1,000 warriors supporting each other in the quantum financial system, we work out live daily, nutrition, subconscious mind programming, goal setting, vision board creation, access to my portfolio, exit strategies, cryptocurrency courses, and now we're going to start doing live trading on our Discord, helping people understand how to manage the bear market coming up after this year. That's where I made most of my money and built my portfolio, not in the bull market, in the bear market. So we're going to help people get set up for 2025 when I believe that's when the real wealth is coming. So if you want to join, click the link down below in the description. You can join our free Facebook group where Kevin and I go live every single day, bringing you information, motivation, and inspiration. As we always say, warriors, rise. Everything in the description down below. Let's go. Uncommon 1%.